Well. Here we are with May 2002, a $4.99 magazine called Super Street. Raw power. Acura strikes back, right? We got two Acuras on the front of this page, old school and a newer school. So what is going on with this issue? And these two half-naked girls from Japan sitting right here. Or standing right here, right? And you can see them inside. But we're not going to do that because we're car guys, right? We gravitate toward cars, all right? And then we got this this thing up here. We'll get into what this magazine has here in a second. All right. Let's see. What do we got? Talked about that one. Of course, advertising. DMX, rest in peace. What was that? Oh. Edelbrock air intake system. All right, we're looking for the table of contents so we can see where. Oh, there it was. It's always on this page with this girl right here. All right, Acura RSX 90 to 93 Acura Integra, supercharged 99 Honda Prelude, ballistic Protege, O2 Modern Image Lancer, and Blitz Japan's Dream Fleet. So we will go over this section. All right. And take it from there. This thing also has a fuel management guide we might look at, just depending on how long this thing takes. AEM EMS Close-Up, their new programmable engine management system, is about to change the future of tuning as we know it. Awesome. Just kidding, guys. This was the stuff back then. AEM, right? I got an AEM engine management system. Yeah, the rest of the stuff, not so much. But yeah, let's get into it, guys. Enough with the chit chat, and let's get into this Acura RSX. So I got a question, and I'm about to type it in. Acura RSX tap S. Whoops. All right, so right off the bat, this thing had 23 city miles per gallon and 31 on the highway. Okay, a 2.0 liter four-cylinder with a 201 horsepower power. 6-speed manual. All right. A 6-speed four-cylinder? What? Right? We're seeing a lot of this now, but what were they doing back then? Right? What was this RSX trying to do? Does this have VTEC? The more powerful 05 RSX Type S used to use the same high performance 3-rocker arm VTEC design. So yes, you Honda boys, this had not 200 horses, but 201 horsepowers with VTEC. The VTEC is like the whip on these 201 horsepowers, right? So let's get into it. HKS applies its power to Acura's 4th generation Integra. All right. We got this dude. He's serious, right? He's like, yeah, I am ready to take on the world of the Honda. Right? He wants to go to race wars. That's what he wants to do. He wants to go to the race wars in California and take down Dom with the Pioneer Sound Vision Soul System. All right? We already know what he has, right? HKS Power 3, Pioneer Racing Heart, probably wheels, Toyo tires, Honda something. I forgot what that says. Sprint car something and Optima batteries. Optima, man, those are cool, right? They had a little six-cylinder looking thing on their batteries. Their batteries are pretty good. They're like $200 something batteries back then, right? So there was a point in time when we thought the Acura Integra couldn't get any better with 170 horsepower, 94 to 2000 models as a basis. You really couldn't have asked for more. Then the Type R was released, and life instantly became a boner and a half. Guys, who wrote this stuff? I would like to meet the dude who wrote this because he's funny. He's funnier than me. All right. It was so easy to tweak the B18C or the C5 and gain results. And the array of readily available parts out there made this twin cam engine the most sought after piece of equipment for a Honda fanatic to own. Was it, or was it the B16? Was it the B16 or was it the B18? What was your favorite Honda motor from back in this time frame? The B16, the B18, or the big mother H22A out of the Prelude? I think it was a 4th, 5th gen Prelude. I don't know, but the B16's got my heart. It's got it. Ooh, it's got it. That's my engine. That's what I want to throw in the Mini. I want to throw it in the Mini. We will one day. We will one day. Then one day, Honda decided to throw a curveball with the RSX, and suddenly we were onto a new game, the K20. Here comes the K series, baby. With the K20 came a whole new engine design, VTEC, and the challenge of figuring out how to make power without upsetting the balance of nature. Don't want to upset. We don't need tornadoes. We don't need earthquakes, right? We don't need extracurricular things happening from this motor. It wouldn't be easy. An American Honda offered up the Pepsi challenge. All right. The RSX you see here is a result of this dude and this dude, who are both part of HKS R&D engineering department. Since they were dealing with such a new platform, they decided not to go internal, but rather go the pressurized route with a turbocharger kit. So now we're working on the outside of this K20 motor, right? We know it's hard to tell from the pictures, but somewhere underneath it all lies an HKS GT 2835 ball bearing turbo. Guys, gotta go ball bearings. Ball bearing turbos. Right? You can't change my mind. A turbine of these size seems inadequate when you compare it to the gargantuan John Holmes-like T04R and the GT 3037 slugs that HKS also carries, but its small stature allows for a quick spool up and that can hang with the best of them. The turbo sits on a custom proto type exhaust manifold, but you should expect a nice piece once the final product is ready for sale. Wasted exhaust gases are released through an hyper exhaust. Fresh air is inhaled with a super mega flow intake and cooled through an HKS intercooler. To maintain stock life efficiency with the newfound power, an FCONS engine management system was added to fine-tune all the engine parameters, especially since it was discovered that the biggest headache for the HKS staff would be fuel issues. They also employed a limited edition EVC 5 silver to electronically adjust boost control and a turbo timer type 1 for shutdown mode. The last essential piece of HKS hardware in the engine bay is a super sequential blow-off valve to relieve any unwanted boost pressure within the system. All right. So here we go. We got the interior leather seats. All right. I don't know what those are. We'll find out here in a second. Not too much going on here. The gauges I could see were changed. Maybe they were changed. I don't know. We'll find out. Obviously, people doing the pedals, but these sports cars started coming out with certain things that kind of looked aftermarket, right? We'll see. Looks plain and Jane to me. Looks plain and Jane to me, except for the heads up. The display here in the center console. Yeah, we'll have to get into that. These pictures suck. Right? I know they got better during the years, right? But we will see. As the coming months and videos that we produce, you will see that these get better. So, continuing on. Um, with more than just speed and bologna sandwiches on their minds, the guys felt they needed to pretty up this car a little bit. Easier said than done. It wasn't long until they discovered that a full body kit from C West would make this car pop like Josh Gilman working the late shift at Swingers. These aren't my jokes, guys. So do not bash me in any kind of comments because these aren't my jokes. I'm reading straight from the source. All right. C West. Y'all remember C West? C West had a lot of kits. C West was one of those companies that would produce kits 1 month and they would kind of filter out as the months, like 3 months in, parts of them would start disappearing, right? It was just producing them left and right. They were making molds. They were punching out, a few of them, and then they realized nobody bought some of them, and they would just not make them, and they would find out a new design based on researching and keep flowing, right? So you constantly saw all of these body kits just kind of flow through, and you can tell by these magazines. So if you had this entire collection of magazines, if you pay attention to all the products in these, you will see that they come and go, right? They shift. Because they were punching these numbers out like crazy. I'm telling you, this craze was absolutely crazy. I don't know how else to put it. So as you can see, these new accents add quite a bit of flavor without detracting a whole lot of, or a lot from the original body shape, right? Lip kits. Lip kits were the thing. Like that was, you want to be professional, right? You don't want to be like Joe Schmo over there who threw on 14 different pieces of body panels and didn't paint them, right? And he's riding around town with a lifted body, because he didn't do the suspension right? And you're like, man, they broke. He can't even afford suspension. He just got 16-piece body kit with flares to the moon. So we all know those guys. Maybe you were one of them. Maybe I was one of them. Just kidding. But C West, they had some nice lip kits with a little bit of flair to them. I'm gonna look this up real quick. C West body kits. Let's look up some images. All right, we got some old photos up in here. All right, C West. Got the little flare on the their body kits. I mean, they're not bad. They're not bad. Look at this. This is a fit for Honda Integra DC2 C West style body kit. It's a triple C West kit, guys. But look, it looks clean, right? It's clean. It says Honda. It says Acura. It is there, right? C West, they got it going on. I would definitely buy something from C West. Don't have a problem with that, right? They got some wild kits out there. That's what I was trying to see here, but they kind of like C West was obviously looking at certain cars and saying, I think this would be a nice flair to it, right? Got this Subaru. I mean, they're different. I don't know how you like the front end of these with the with what they've got going on, right? Because a lot of people nowadays, and it might be hard for you to look at these things today because back then, throwing these kits on and not really caring about body lines, unless you wanted to mold it into it to change some of those body lines, it didn't matter. Right, here's that C West body kit again on the side. But yeah, basically you can get a nice C West kit and be good. All right, so let's look at this. So C West, okay, C West. Y'all remember that logo? Um, This is it, guys. This is your Sea West. It was like a lip kit with flair, like a little bit more than a lip kit. It's a ground effect, right? Uh, the extra stuff going on with these, I was not a fan of. I was a fan of straight, clean lines, and that's what I wanted. But you know, to each his own. I didn't get into body kits as much. If you have one of these cars that you had a crazy body kit on, even if it's like messed up, shoot them toward me. Send them to my email, right? I want to feature you. I want to be like, hey, check this guy out, right? Um, and all jokes aside, we all had our different tastes, so I'm not gonna hate on nobody. But, all right, this is what we did back in the day. So what else do we got going on here? Uh, a carbon fiber hood from Charisma sheds a few pounds off the body, and the rear deck spoiler is a Honda optional equipment original, right? The rear deck spoiler. This right here came from Honda as an accessory. The slight drop in ride height is achieved with lowering springs from Sprint suspension, and a new wheel package comes courtesy of Racing Heart. All right, and then they have this what the heck does HKS mean? Okay, super streeters, you've read our stories and bought the parts, but do you know what HKS stands for? So just this sentence alone tells you that people were buying them off of word of mouth. Y'all know what I'm talking about. HKS, oh, you already knew. It was so thrown out there so much, right? It was on the Supras. It was on the high-end cars. You're like, I gotta have it. HKS knows what they got going on. So why do they have to ask this question first? It's because people were throwing them on left and right without even knowing what HKS stands for. All right. Guess correctly or make up a clever HKS definition of your own, and you'll score one of the HKS Tokyo Auto Salon goodie bags that only the Super Street Tokyo Auto Salon tour goers were able to get. And get this, it'll be stuffed full of all the free swag, empty Picari sweat cans, and butt cake videos. Sweet! One winner will be picked randomly out of all the entries received. The due date is May 15, 2002. All late entries will be discarded after the date. They made this entire article off of whether or not you know what HKS is. And if you don't know, we are going to learn this right now. I already know what it is. Whoops. Clicked on the wrong link. Clicking on the wrong link. Clicking on the wrong link. Clicking, 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 clicking. About. What? HKS is perhaps the most known aftermarket brand in the world. 1973. So that's all we get. I don't know what happened there, but all right, there you go. HKS stands for Hasegawa, Kitagawa, and Sigma, right? The names of the three founders of HKS, right? They said, no, let's just take the first letter of our names and be like HKS. A Japanese company that specializes in high-performance automotive parts and components. The company was founded in 1973 with capital from Sigma Automotive by this guy and this guy. HKS is known for its innovations in the aftermarket industry, including turbochargers, exhaust systems, suspension components, engine internals, and electronics. All right. So there you go. It is the three names of that company. All right. Racing Heart wheels. They're good. I like them. I've seen some cars on it like this. On the Acuras, yes, this is one of the wheels that fits the Acura. Not so much the Honda. I don't remember seeing a lot of these on Hondas, but these were on like four-door sedans, your four-door Hondas, your four-door Civics, things like that. That's where I remember seeing these, at least here in Texas. At least here in Texas. Where'd it go? All right, what do we got here? Sound systems. Again, another setup in the glove box. The glove box was used for everything but gloves and your documents. Right? Your screen, your speakers, your 6x9, 6x10s, and 12s, and all that stuff. This guy has some sort of... Oh, wait. That's not part of it. That's the ad. I'm on a different page. You dumbass. All right. 18.75 CP 035Rs and Toyo proxy rubbers. The interior features a few enhancements as well, with modest upgrades coming in the form of a titanium shift knob and trim from Honda optional equipment. Are we starting to see optional features from the manufacturers on these cars, right, mixed in with aftermarket, right? Because a lot of aftermarket would make you look cheap depending on where you got it from. But if you went to Honda or you went to Acura and you got your accessories from them, it was original, right? And people were really thinking about that. You got the original SI wheels on your Honda Civic SI, your 2000 SI. Those were sought after like crazy. People did not want to change those. They were like, no, what? No. Right? People would trade good money for them. Let's see. Trim from Honda optional equipment too. So like door sills, your floor seals when you open the door, things like that, you can get them from Honda. And yeah, but they were also expensive from the dealership, right? If you bought the car from the dealer, you might as well tack it on then when at time of buying, because you look at those accessory prices and you were like, what? $600 for a spoiler? What? $800 for a lip kit? Huh? Right? $800 for an alarm system? No. Hell no. Hell to the no. That was me. That was me at the Honda dealer. I was like, nah, fuck all that. I can go to HKS. I can get on the internet. I can get on eBay. And it's custom. And I get to do what the hell I want. Right? Different colors and everything. Right? So there was a battle between dealerships and aftermarket for sure. Dealerships kept it clean. Aftermarket said, we do whatever the fuck we want. All right. Pioneer Electronics, a hi-fi, no-nonsense plethora of sound, power, and genteel lookalikes. Well, maybe not the genteel lookalikes, but there's enough sound and power to feed a small third world country. Let's start from the dashboard and work our way back. First, there's a AVD W6000 LCD screen. It's 6.5 inches in size and plays a widescreen format to accompany your favorite Samuel L. Jackson films, which are played through a SDV P7 DVD player. So 6.5 or 7-inch. Man, if you had the 7-inch, raise your hand. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. 7-inch screens were the shit, right? 6.5, yeah, but if you got a 7, like you had a little money, right? Maybe you got a bonus, right? You were at work and you got a Christmas bonus. You got the 7-inch. 6.5 was plentiful. They were cheaper. You can get them all day long. But the 7-inch, you talking like $100 difference. So when you go into these audio places, they got all the things on the wall for you, and you're looking at the 7-inch, and man, especially when you went into Best Buy, bro, Best Buy, you felt like the shit when you bought something from there. Tell me I ain't lying. You felt like you was king of the world. Like, where'd you get it, Best Buy, nigga? Yeah. So, there we go. There we go. What else we got going on here? XM satellite radio add-on tuner. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people had those too. Commercial free. They got a GPS navigation with voice recognition. So, all right. Rev Edition speakers designed to look like a set of tuner wheels, right? If you got speakers, they had the rim or the wheel look to it. We're just thrilled that they sound 10 times better than stock. Everything is better than stock on a Honda, like factory stuff. So that's pretty much it, guys. Let's look at the build again. Under the hood, a K20 iVTEC HKS Super Mega Flow intake hyper exhaust. So you know it sounds good. GT 2835 ball bearing turbo. A custom prototype exhaust manifold, super sequential blow off valve, FCON. You know this thing was loud. Like this thing said whoosh, all day long. FCON S engine management system, EV CIV silver something edition. I forgot what it says. Type 1 turbo timer, Optima blue top spiral cell battery. All right, so we just got an Optima blue blue top battery. Blue or red top. I think they had a yellow. I think different type of battery. Rollers, Racing Hearts 18s by 7.5s. C-West body kit, Honda original equipment rear wing, Charisma carbon fiber hood. Inside was a Honda optional equipment titanium shift knob, an interior trim, cat skin custom upholstery. So that's what the seats were, cat skin upholstery. Shift and pedal set. All the interior stuff, all those audio things that we went over, and your props. So who owns this car? HKS USA. This is HKS's company car. This is what they did. All right. And there you go. Underneath all this, there's a turbo. Right. So there you go. There's your K20 iVTEC. Looks clean. Got the purple oil cap. Right. A little fancy smancy. Here's your wiring on that, right? Your speakers. All of this was stock except for the trunk. You had your 212s or whatever he had. Your W12, 12-inch. Right? 12 was like standard. If you got the 10 inches, yeah. But 12s, across the board, can't go wrong with them. They had some 15s, but man, those were in the bangers. Like those who were literally all about audio, right? But 212s, hey, that's where it was. That's where it was. More accessories on the next page. A whole bunch of wild stuff on this one. And we will find the next car. But what about me? Right? Who had these? This was the car that a lot of people overlooked. It has a sleek front end, very thin headlights, and this front end was like, it's like a paper clip, like or a clothespin. It just goes right. So, remembering the legendary 90 to 93 Acura Integra, here is this hideous. I remember this valve cover. I didn't like this. I don't know why, but I hated it. I wanted a smooth one, right? Because I'm a B16 fan. What is this ribbed thing, right? And then you got these long pipes. Like, these are so freaking long that it takes 10 minutes for air to get from one section to the next. How many of y'all remember that? All right, or you got a buddy that did. I had a buddy that did, and man, I never hung out with him because he was like, you couldn't tell him nothing. He was mean, but he knew his stuff. So long before there was ever such a thing called the RSX or Integra Type R, there was a second generation Acura Integra, 90 to 93. This car helped create a name for the Acura brand and spread the gospel that a Honda could be used for pure performance. The DA body style, as it referred to by chassis code, was available with either 2 or 4 doors. 4 doors. But it was a 2-door hatchback that gained the most popularity. It was available in 3 trims. RS as a base model with no power features except the steering. LS as the middle grade option, including a moonroof and a cruise control. And the top of the line GS featuring all leather interior and power options. Of course, there was the special edition models LS Special and GSR. The LS Special featured the leather interior of the GS, and the GSR sported a DOC VTEC, the dual overhead cam VTEC engine, the first of its kind to be released in the US. So there you go, a dual overhead cam VTEC in 1990 was introduced to the Honda world. Designed from the Civic platform, the 1993 Integra featured a completely redesigned suspension from its previous model, which had McPherson struts. This time around, it had an 8-arm design that featured a fully independent rear suspension with 1 trailing arm, 2 lateral links, and 1 tow control link per side. The overall body design was a vast improvement, and typical body enhancements could be made with the one-piece headlights from the Japanese model. The RS, LS, GS models all came equipped with an efficient B18A 1.8 liter DOC engine that produced 130 at 6,000 RPMs with torque ratings of 121 at 5,000. Later, for 92 to 93, the GSR was released, right? So the GSR came onto the scene in 1992. It featured a 1.7 B17A DOC VTEC engine. Notice how it's different from the B18A, right? They stepped down. We got a 1.8 liter. Now we got a smaller 1.7 B17A, still DOC VTEC, marking the debut of the legendary VTEC technology. All right, so VTEC was introduced in 1992 on this Acura Integra with a 1.7 liter B17A. So here's your beginnings. Right, a 1.7 liter B17H DOC VTEC was not on the B18. It was a dual overhead cam, but it did not have the VTEC. And it was available on the RS, LS, and GS models, as we talked about here earlier. Marking the debut of the legendary VTEC technology in a standard passenger vehicle other than the NSX. The engine made a believable 160 horsepower and had a red line of 8,000 RPMs, the highest outputting naturally aspirated engine to come in a car sold in North America. This engine made a believable 160 horsepower and had a red line of 8,000 RPM, the highest outputting naturally aspirated engine to come in a car sold in North America. Honda kicked it off. Or Acura, whatever the hell you want to call it. It was also the same engine that would later spawn the 1.8 liter B18CI and B18C5. Maybe that's the C1 and the C5. allowing future generation American Integras to become the ultimate weapon of choice for today's car enthusiasts. This engine was simple. It was small, it was simple. You could do so much to these things. They were light, right? I mean, they just were all around easy. Parts were available. They were fairly priced where we could afford them. And yeah, you had your expensive parts, but like it was one of those where you were good. The Integra of this month's cover belongs to Henry Chang and is one of the true representations of what you should do to your second gen Integra if you had the pleasure of owning one. Henry retained the stock B18A engine configuration, but he bolted on a drag turbo kit, an HKS blow-off valve and wastegate, Denso iridium spark plugs, an FMU fuel regulator, a Bosch fuel pump, and an MSD ignition. The transmission has worthy upgrades as well. A Cusco LSD and an ACT clutch help transfer the 280 horsepower that this Integra now puts out. The car also runs a 12.8, right? A 1281 at 105 at the drag strip. It sits on a set of OG 16.7 SSR GP0s. A great mesh wheel that seems to have been designed solely for the DA. It's a shame that most wheels aren't made to look like this anymore. So there you go. I like this. I like that style of wheel. It's good. It's clean. Right? And manufacturers actually make this type of wheel. To this day. The paint is a custom blue with all Acura badging shaved, and for a classic look, the one-piece JDM headlights were installed. Yes, we love the 90 to 93 Integra, a true super street legend. JDM Japanese one-piece headlights. Sweet. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. All right. So there you go. If you have this platform, this was something to keep. We learned a little bit of history here with the engine, and this is cool to know. If you've got a 1990 to 93 Integra, which one do you have? Which engine are you sporting in this thing? And did you swap out heads with GSR? Like, is that possible? Has anybody done that? Right, we talked about that in previous episodes, but yeah. Moving on, the Ice Ghost. The 5th gen, I believe this is. 5th gen. This one had the H22, if I remember correctly. Let's see. I mean, I like this one. I like it. Had the sport roof. It always looked good with black hoods. You got these look like 18-inch wheels. Nah, these look like 19s. We'll find out. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm right, I'm right. Let's see. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Under the Fiber Images carbon fiber hood. All right, so we got a carbon fiber hood. Beats the heart of a 240 horsepower from a Jackson Racing supercharger, pulsing in its soul and providing 9 pounds of boost and a set of WWF style muscles. Inhaling air through an AEM cold intake. AEM was popular with air intakes. So were carbon fiber hoods. So we're looking at 240-ish horsepower coming out of this motor. Let's see. The internals were left intact because Mr. Jackson designed his system to work with the stock motor while providing the boost. Once the power is produced, spent gases are expelled through a Mugen stainless header down to a Tanabe Hyper Medallion exhaust. I think the Tanabe Hyper Medallion exhaust was expensive back in the day. For sure. That was one of those where you were like, well, I ain't trying to like race my Honda. I ain't trying to track race it, so I don't need a hyper medallion exhaust. But nonetheless, people were throwing them on these cars. Uh, Isolated from the cacophony of metallic wailing emanating from under the hood, the occupants sit in a tomb of solitude, embraced by a pair of Sparco Torino seats, right? Big Sparco fan on these seats, and restrained by Leaf 5-point harnesses, all in Type R red, like vibrant vampire blood on a black leather and vinyl cloak. Auto meter, air fuel, and boost gauges peer out from the A-pillar, and a pair of apexy pieces, a VAFC, and a rev speed meter peek out of the center air vents. When it's time to liven things up, a Kenwood KMD 7000 double din head unit pumps sound into the cabin through Bazooka RX series speakers in the factory locations and a Bazooka Pro series subwoofer in the trunk. I didn't see a lot of people with bazookas, but Bazooka was out there for sure. It had its moment. It had its moment. Look at these wheels. For some reason, I think these are 19s. I don't know why. I don't know why. We're about to find out. To keep things from looking so stark, the ghostly white exterior is broken up by a subtle beltline graphics. The carbon fiber hood, ARC rear spoiler, and Honda of Japan front fog lights add just a touch of JDM flavor to the mix. The car rides low thanks to the ground control coilovers and yellow Coney adjustable shocks. Coney was another brand out there. I remember that. But it looks even lower with the full front, side, and rear ground effects from Mugen skimming the ground. The car appears to levitate David Copperfield like mere inches from the ground if it weren't for the 19-inch racing heart swelling tightly in the wheel wells. I knew it. You can just look at these. I knew the Honda or the this Prelude had big wheel wells, and the fact that they're filling it. I mean, they look big, right? 19s. I knew it. I swear to God, I didn't even look at this first. I swear. All right. Now, all of this moving and gliding is all well and good, but if you couldn't stop, then all the hard work would be worthless. Halting duties are handled by AEM slotted and cross-drilled rotors clamped by spoon 4-piston calipers up front. Right? There you go. AEM made cross-drilled rotors. Why did you get AEM cross-drilled rotors? The name. And spoon 4-piston calipers up front. Spoon, again, on Hondas and Acuras. And yeah, it is what it is. There are lots of really cool cars up north, as well as a rockin' nightlife. We'll be checking it out more in upcoming issues. So here we go with the fast facts. This guy was in Canada. He's running a 1999 Honda Prelude with the H22A4. Right? The H22A was the biggest like stock motor that they produced at that time. Jackson Racing supercharger, massaged to 9 pounds of boost, fuel regulator, fuel pump, Mugen stainless steel headers, Tonabee hyper medallion exhaust, AEM cold air intake, Jacobs spark plug wires, JDM Type S valve cover. Okay, here we go. Supercharger, cold air. All right. Your Tonabee hyper medallion exhaust headers down to the rear of the vehicle, and then everything else kind of looks stock, except you got all these spider web of things. Personally, I would clean up all this. This would look so clean. You'd see a motor. I mean, it would. Oh man, you know. Battery relocate. I'd relocate that battery. I'd hide it. Man, everything would just look like motor and performance. That's just my personal opinion. So clean. I like the wing works. I would prefer the square wing, like on the Type R's, the Integra Type R's. I just like that square wing feel on these Hondas. You know, these worked, but it's just like a touch of, I just did it. You know, it doesn't do too much, but it works. Next, Chasing Ghost. We get inside the O2 Accord Type R for one last hunting. What do they mean by that? Don't go to England in January. It's cold, miserable place. All right, so let's get into this. Excluding pipe dreams involving the first was to greet the brand new Civic Type R. The second was to say goodbye to the Accord Type R. I wish I could have done both, but for some reason Honda UK wasn't up for the idea of loaning me two cars, so a decision was made. The Accord Type R sold in Europe is the last of the original Type Rs. The first Integra R went the way of NKOTB last year. This year, the Civic R gets replaced, and by the end of 2002, the first generation Accord R will no longer exist as well. In fact, the Accord will disappear from Europe altogether. What this means is that unless Honda adds a Type R to the American Accord lineup or introduces the four-door sedan as a major model in Japan, unlikely, the Accord Type R will cease to exist. Okay, Honda PR insists that a performance-inspired Accord will be launched in America by the end of the year. However, I seriously doubt it. Will have a high-revving 212 horsepower four-cylinder and dual Recaro race seats, weigh 40 pounds less than the base model, and ride on 17-inch lightweight alloys. It will probably be an Accord Type S, weigh around 3,000 pounds, and not be powered by some sort of V6, and be powered by some sort of V6. Not the same. That's where the Accords went. V6. Right now we're getting to the Accords going from the Type R. Like, it's like they tested it. Can we make a Accord Type R with this market? And they didn't. So they went away with it. So will we ever see one in 2024 and beyond? Maybe not. Right? Because it doesn't work. And they found out with this. Right? Does that make sense? The Accord is for a certain market. The Accord is for it's your cruiser, right? They started throwing V6s in these things, and now they're kind of going to V4s, four cylinders, you know, because of technology and what they can do with four cylinders, but they went to six cylinders. All right, so here we are. Type R badging. Looks like a lip kit. This thing looks 15 feet off the ground. Good Lord. By the end of 2002, the first generation Accord R will no longer exist. All right. The Accord R. The O2 Honda Accord Type R specs. 2.2 liter Doc VTEC, 11 to 1, 212 at 7,200, 158 foot-pounds of torque at 67, 5-speed manual, and front double wishbone, rear advanced 5-link double wishbone, 17-inch aluminum alloys. All right, so we've got that spoiler. All right, we got red badging. Man, a lot of people went to the red badging. I remember seeing these red badges everywhere. Everywhere. If you had a Honda, that's the first thing you did. Let's see. Actually, that's a bunch of crap. If anybody tells you that something is pure heaven, punch them in the stomach and run away. They're either trying to pick your back pocket or write for a car magazine. Let's just say that cars like the Accord Type R make you say the sappy things that would otherwise come out of a wispy fashion designer's mouth. Y'all didn't need me to read that. And how could the Redline song of a high compression 2.2 liter Doc VTEC inspire that sort of ballerina sappiness? Well, don't think of it. Don't think of an Accord. Think instead of a nimble touring car with a badge and registration. So yeah, that's where it's at, right? It's a touring car if you will. It's like a sport touring car. That's kind of like what Supras are, right? It's a sports car, but this thing was made for touring, right? I mean, this thing will put a smile on your face, but this thing, the design and what it was built for is like to get in and just drive and have fun, hit up the roads and just enjoy the drivability of it. Y'all already know because y'all have done 15,000 research and Google searches on Supras, especially YouTube. All right, everybody knows them, but this is where we're at. All right, so we've got that Accord Type R. How many of y'all knew there was an Accord Type R? If you didn't, you didn't. Wow, that was quick. So there you go. The Accord Type R. All right. Protege. Protege. Look at this car. It I don't know what to say about it. The Mazda Protege, I don't know what to say about it. Honestly, like I never wanted one, but it just seems to work in the tuning world. Like I feel like it was built for the tuning world. Like it just looks like it needs to be accessorized. Let's see. What is about this car? So the Mazda Protege. I'm about to look this up because the old Mazda. Mazda Protege. All right. Up to 25, 31 highway, 2.0 liter four cylinder, 130 horsepower, 4-speed automatic or a 5-speed manual. DX, LS, and the ES. So you got luxury, your base, and your sport. Your sport had 130. Yeah, same. Nothing to gripe over. But if you were into Mazda, that's where it was. There's nothing there. All right. This is what I would expect out of a Protege. Uh, Monitor for those who get locked in the trunk. All right. So if you get locked in the trunk, you got a screen. You've got your speakers with the diamond plate cuts. All right. So custom fabrication. Interior, you got your seats, lots of room, different colored or powder coated or painted interior trim. This one's got a roll cage. Everything's painted to match. And you got this wing that looks like a GTR wing style. The kit on the Protege is one of only a few in existence. Do you like the look of it and want to own one for yourself? Well, you're shit out of luck. The kit originates from a plaster mold that was made by Mazda strictly for a Protege concept car. Ow, that hurt. I just hiccuped and it hurt. God bless, that hurt. Okay. So Mazda made this mold for a concept car. So how did he get it? When John found it moldering in the Mazda dungeon, he saved it, defeated the evil dragon, and managed to squeeze one more kit from the fragile mold. The mold has since cracked and turned to crap, but the kit continues to live on in glory on John's car to taunt the rest of you Protege owners out there. Fancy the wing? Similar story. It's from an early MP3 concept car, meaning it's as rare as an edible meal at Sizzler. Party time. You may have seen this car at Hot Import Nights. You may have seen this car on the Super Street Tour. We have, and we like it. Oh, yeah. You also may have noticed the Mazda logos glowing in the seats. That show-stopping effect comes courtesy from experimental fiber optics from Federal Mogul. At long last, it finally appears that technology stripped from downed alien aircraft is finally being considered for consumer applications. So it's got a lot of lighting on the interior from fiber optics. It's got this body kit that is only from Mazda concept car, right? And this guy, I think, probably worked there and he was able to get that made. So don't be afraid to ask manufacturers for something, right? You may just get something from them that's not available. Yes, that still happens today. All right, so here we go. We got this guy. Cool, right? He definitely works at a car dealership with this shirt. You got the Optima battery, the yellow top. You got the chromed out Mazda engine. It's got the same thing as the B8. No, what was that Acura engine we talked about? Anyways, uh, let's see. Not a big fan of this car, but it's for somebody. It's a 2000 Mazda Protege. 1.8 liter 4-cylinder engine, Monster Flow intake and air cleaner. After cat exhaust, right? Cat back, VTEC ignition wires and vacuum lines, hose technique hoses. We've seen that before. And Nitrous Express 50 horsepower wet kit, Optima battery, jet performance, computer upgrade. I just don't see how Nitrous was installed with nothing else. I don't see any fuel upgrades. I don't, but to each his own. To each his own. Custom body kit and rear wing, louvered hood by Sir Michaels, lettering by Modern Image Signworks, orange pearl paint with glass bead top coat and candy coated headlights and taillights by Body Pros, APC sport mirrors, blue undercar neon by Matt Strange. Why does that name come up in my brain so easily? Matt Strange. So, who knows? Inside, Cobra Sidewinder racing seats. Catskin leather upgrade. Auto power roll bar. Nardi sport steering wheel. I forgot about Nardi. Federal Mogul fiber optic lighting. Indirect interior neon by Matt Strange. Matt Strange. Where is Matt Strange from? It's gonna bother me. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Who was Matt Strange in this time? Interesting. Well, that guy did his thing, right? He had fun with it. He had a little bit of a story to tell with it, which is cool, right? He's got a custom body kit only made, or only available to him. All right. All right, here we go. The Modern Image O2 Lancer will make you shake your butt. All right, here we go. Modern Image Signworks, Gretty. Here's the side skirt with the advertisers on it. Very popular to do. Run it along the side. Very tasteful, at the time. It can still be pulled off today if you really wanted to go like that route, right? Even this one, that sweepstakes they were doing here that we went over. I mean, they did it there. They did it here. I mean, it works. It works. Where do they start getting into this Lancer here? Because let's see, well by day and a free. The Lancer is a rolling showcase for the car's tuning possibilities and Modern Image's distinct flair for style. This is crimped hair when it was cool. It's a sequin glove fondling an elephant man's remains. Okay, get into the car already. We saved the best for first. A custom turbo stitched into the Lancer's engine bay by the pros at Road Race Engineering, RRE. They slipped a second-gen Eclipse TD0413T turbo, a roofie, and got it to make nice with the Lancer's stock 2.0 liter power plant. So they took a turbo from a second-gen Eclipse, slapped it onto this 2.0. The turbo plays lead to formidable supporting cast, an RRE front mount intercooler and piping, a tile or teal, however you pronounced it, external wastegate, I always said tile, and a Greddy Type S blow-off valve. So tile, Greddy, and there was another one. No, not Apexy. Tile, Greddy. These were like top turbocharger parts. RRE also played with fuel management, installing an upgraded fuel pump, Greddy E-Manage, and RC Engineering 450cc injectors. So we're running these days like 1000cc injectors plus, right? This back here was like crazy. A Nitrous Express nitrous kit keeps the boost rocking. All right. Right. It's working. It's working. This car is, so far, I see Sparco seats in here. I see that rear wing. I see the angled top deck there. All right, guys, now grab your crotch and screen. The DG Motorsports carbon fiber hood and Rod Millen Racing carbon fiber wing all complement the car's true silver dollar, the Evo 7 front fascia. Evo 7 front end. Are you feeling it? You want some more? How about Sparco Milano seats? How about a suede interior? How about an Evo 7 Momo steering wheel? Are you dancing like you never danced before? We at Super Street actually have never danced before. We were too cool to get dates to the prom. But there's more. A Profect B-Spec boost controller. Sorry. These jokes suck. Oh, man. But we thought it was funny back then. We were smiling and laughing back then, and now we're reading it like, what? A Profect B-Spec boost controller, a remote switch at 60mm EGT, and boost gauges, all from Greddy. Maniac. This guy. All right, so this is cool. I like it. Toyo tires, all of your brands that you got into this car. I like how it's kind of spread out. It's not like down the door. It's kind of like just spread out through the car. It works, right? You got the graphics and Mitsubishi logo, Mitsubishi Motors, carbon fiber, roll cage, matched. Like, it was done right. I like it. Modern image. Yellow hoses. The strut bar. Interior paint. Nitrous next to the sound system. Gotta show that off. Here we go. All right. There's your turbo. And there it is. Your Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi Lancer. I like it. I mean, it's done. It's accessorized. It's rolling on 18-inch Volk wheels. That's what I was thinking. The Volk Racing. Every time I see that style of wheel, I think of Volk Racing. It's got head unit, DVD player, 10-inch subs. All right, there's your interior. Little yellow splash in here with these Sparkle Milano seats. I think the Milano seats were like very wide. They didn't seem to like hug you, but um, and I think that's what we're seeing here. They like flared out a lot more, like wider than what you're imagining. So who owns this? Modern Image Signworks. Right, 2002 Mitsubishi Lancer. Uh, Under the hood is a 2.0 liter single overhead cam inline four-cylinder engine. Road Race Engineering custom Mitsubishi TD0413T turbo. Front mount intercooler piping upgrade fuel pump. Turbo fuel pressure regulator, cold air intake. Greddy Type S blow off valve, oil cap, radiator cap. E-manage. Tile, 35 millimeter external wastegate. Holley race battery. A Holley race battery. That looked like a Optima to me. Uh, a Scotch wiring, thermal flex hoses, AEM power pulleys, candy blue powder coating by Specialized Powder Coating, polish manifold by California Polishing, nitrous express nitrous system, front mount intercooler spray bar, RC Engineering, 450cc injectors, a Magnaflow stainless steel race series muffler, B&M Edge short shifter, B&M. B&M was another popular with the short shifters. B&M short shifter, I think I had that on my list back in the day. I never got one, but I know a B&M was popular. It's running on 18 by 7 inch Volk Racings, SC37s, Toyo Proxies. Toyo seemed to be the tire to get, evidently, right? We're seeing them in all these cars. Paint, DG Motorsports, carbon fiber hood, a Mitsubishi body kit, Rod Millen Racing carbon fiber wing, and a Magnaflow performance exhaust. So, yep, Magnaflow on his exhaust system all the way through. 10-inch subwoofers, 4-channel amp, 2-channel amp, custom paint by Wetworks, and custom trunk-mounted fiberglass box by Audio Options. Yeah, a lot of companies out there just making boxes for these things. They would paint, they would do all that stuff. And if you had this custom setup, people knew you were into cars for sure. You pop the trunk and now you see all this wavy stuff that's just going all over the place. They took the time to make a mold and they did something cool, right? They wanted to be different. They didn't want an empty trunk. They wanted to show that you had an audio system. And where else to do it? Pop the trunk, baby. Pop that trunk. All right, there it is. More and more accessories, guys. These magazines were like flooded with accessories. It is insane how we went through this time of bombardment with this. Like, I get it. I get the hint, right? So Turbo XS Unichip. For all the Subi heads out there who are having trouble finding parts, Turbo XS loves you, baby. Unichip is a fully programmable piggyback engine management system created in South Africa by Dastech. The design of the Unichip allows tuners to modify fueling, ignition timing, and boost. Here's your chip. Fuel and timing maps can be altered on a 17 by 12 chart using RPM and load as reference points. Boost can also be modified at 8 different RPM points. With the Unichip, the tuner can customize the fuel and ignition mapping to any current modifications on the car and retune if more upgrades are added down the line. So, $700 upgrade was kind of expensive, but if you were really into understanding how your car ran and into the details of all that, this was something that you could do. I'm sure there was other brands out there doing the same thing, but it the one the the chips that used the manufacturer setup that was easy to install were the ones that people went after, and then they would modify them, of what they could do. Um, the first 12-second WRXs in the States were created with trap speeds of over 100 miles per hour. The harness piggybacks off the stock ECU and makes the unit a plug-and-play system for the O2 WRX. You read right. No wire cutting is necessary with the OEM-style connector plugs. So your average guy can buy this, plug it all in, hook it up to a laptop, download software, and run it. Accessories, accessories, accessories. Right? And here was the other one, AEM management. Guys, AEM sent it with this. Like, I saw this on so many cars, and it was so cool to see the mapping on this software because of Fast and Furious. We saw that in the Eclipse and the racing scene. AEM has introduced the programmable engine management system. As far as full fuel management is concerned, the EMS can hold its own with the big dogs. In fact, the EMS is a big dog itself. Since the EMS is a plug and play unit, you'll be able to install it and get your car up and running in less than 10 minutes. No wires need to be cut, modified, or added to make the EMS work, the engine management system, in your car. You'll probably spend the majority of those 10 minutes trying to unbolt all the brackets holding down the factory ECU. The Windows-based software can be accessed through the AEM website, along with fully detailed instructions on how to use the EMS. AEM couldn't have made it any easier. Now you too can be a tuner, right? This was for those geeks out there that was like, I'm about to jump in the engine right now. I'm about to tune this. And right, people were taking them to tuners that were either good or bad, right? Or they would try to figure it out on their own through forums and things like that. Like, it was, people wanted to know without paying dealership prices to figure this out. And AEM made it easy for you, evidently, right? I never had an AEM management system, but it was included on my list because the Supra was the golden car for me, right? I had a Honda, but I wasn't going to throw these types of mods on that. I was going to do it right, on the big boy. Let's see. Almost every aspect of tuning fuel delivery can be accessed with the EMS. Fuel and ignition maps can be viewed and altered in table form or as 3D graphs. So changing ignition timing is as easy as typing in a number in Excel. And smoothing out fuel delivery curves is just a matter of moving around a couple of lines on the graph. This cuts down tuning time drastically, saving you from excessive dyno time. If you have an idea of how you want the fuel map to look, you can use the autofill function, which automatically calibrates the maps according to a couple of values that the user inputs. With a laptop at hand, you can use the onboard data logger to get all the engine statistics during the tuning session. Everything from engine speed to intake air. All right, and as you can see, factory harness plugs right in. Boom. You have your lines, your 3D graph, your numbers, data loggers, air to fuel ratio, throttle coolant. Wow, this is really old Windows stuff, man. That is crazy. When you compare with the the products today, man. Air intake temperature can be viewed on a graph in real time with the editor. The user can create analog gauges or bar meters to display on the computer screen, also running in real time or high and low warnings, which could be set for extra precaution. The EMS was designed to use factory sensors, plugs, and harnesses. This is what makes a unit headacheless. That's a word I just made up. Even though the EMS is designed to use factory sensors, AEM is currently working on its own sensors, such as throttle position, water temperature, and knock. Probably the craziest add-on that AEM is working on is a wideband oxygen sensor that plugs into the EMS. This will allow the EMS to read the air-fuel ratio and calibrate itself accordingly. Sound unreal? Well, it's as real as it gets. One last tidbit we thought would be important. This unit isn't just for Hondas. You read that right. The EMS unit is available for Toyotas, Mazdas, and even Dodges. But is that the end of it? No way. AEM is constantly grinding to come out with more plug-and-play EMS units. What's even better is that the full race unit can be used on pretty much any car. The AEM introduced everybody to the world of tuning, at least from my era. All right. And you had different companies doing different things, different layouts and softwares. So that was a thing. Just play with numbers, audio stuff. That RSX, some of the cars at the show. Is that a Sylvia? S15. The MRS. That's what it was. MRS. I was looking at this like, what? I forgot. MRS. Right? RX-7s. Very popular. The BF Goodrich Supra. That gold color. That was a popular color, man. Like S2K. Another S15 with a different style of. All right, they're not straight on with these manufacturers. Volk Rays. 600 horsepower S15. That's crazy. Man, back in the day, tuning cars was the thing. I mean, they are just so wild and different. I mean, you could just stare at these all day long. I really wish I went to one of those SEMA shows and import nights, hot import nights, things like that. I wish I would have done that. That would have been just cool to experience. But no, I was stuck in my own little world where I live, just tuning my car and hitting the streets and going to meets. Got an R33 out here. What tiny tuners? Oh my God. I know y'all remember these. I think they came in like the little, I know they came in these little. I think it's guitar tuners. We're just so far away from this time. It has no idea what a tiny tuner is. Tiny tuners. Cars. No, I remember they came in like a ball, the packaging, or something of that nature. Man, if y'all have tiny tuners, let me know. That would be cool. Send me some pictures. Go to my email. It's in my bio. Like, send me some of those. Like, you got the GTR. This looks like the RSX Type S. Got the big wheel in the back, the small in the front. Got the AE86. Jesus. Uh, Tomica made these. Wow. Look at this. I bet you this don't exist. That's a Japanese website. Interesting. I'll let that load, but uh they're cool for terrorizing your cat, dog, or girlfriend, or just having some tabletop drifting competitions. Uh, these cars allow you to swap out motors, tires, gear ratios, and bodies in order to squeeze out some more better performance. And they run about 2 minutes on a 45-second charge. The DigiQ is the world's smallest mass-produced, non-corded, full-function remote control car, measuring in at a tiny 47 millimeters. Dang, these little dynamos are also the fastest of the group. Controlled by infrared, these cars are a riot. Fully proportional steering and throttle make them very controllable, and the built-in rechargeable battery lets these little boogers run up to 15 minutes on a 10-minute charge. That is a motherfucking quarter right there. I want one. I want one. Yeah, I'm going to eBay. I'm going to eBay. I don't even know if that's how you search them. Wait, what is this? No, that ain't it. I thought they came in these little packaging. What? Well, we know we're in 2002, right? They don't even exist anymore, do they? I know you had the micro tuners. I mean, I guess. Unless they didn't sell them in America. I was about to say, is that Mazda protege that we just did? Oh my gosh. Um, machine tuners, micro machine tuners. I'm seeing a lot of that, but I think they came in this package. A little neat. That's neat. But I want some of these. I want that RSX. I want the A86. I want all these. All right, let's go. Let's go, guys. We got work to do. This is crazy. It's like a trip into time. Got the Lamborghini SV GTR. Yeah. The Civic, Gold Civic R6 Type S. Um, we've already covered our featured cars, so wait, what was that? Outstepping boundaries. Uh-oh. We got the GTR, the Supra with the Blitz kit. That is Blitz all over it. Oh, yeah, it says Blitz right there. Look at the whole lineup. The Blitz train. So Blitz done did it up here. Four-door Nissan. The Skyline. Ooh, look at this. Parking in Japan is really difficult. Got the Supra on the lift. I saw this wing in Japan when I was visiting a couple months ago, and it actually in person, I mean, it's wild, but it works on the Supra. It works. And that'd be so cool. Hit up the circuit. So dope. There's 3 Acura NSXs sitting right here. 2 blues and a yellow. And the rest, you got the Integra. All these are Acuras, but dang, these NSXs. I'm about to read all this. Hold up. The O2 NSX and the CL. Yeah, the CLs. CL Type S. Both cars redesigned and upgraded with the enthusiast in mind. And in this case, getting to drive these cars would not only be a perfect story for the Pages Super Street, but it would also be another perfect opportunity for me to brag about how I got to drive these cars and you didn't. Clever. That is crazy. I'm not going to read that, but yeah. Look at this interior. The engine. Perfect photo. NSX. Gosh, that is crazy. What a time to be alive back then. Then you had this one, 3.2 VTEC, the CLS Type S. That's crazy. Got the drags. Even carjackers couldn't keep this Civic from being built. Evidently, this Civic was stolen. I wanted this Civic. I wanted this Civic because I had a buddy with one when I worked at SeaWorld, my very first job. And he had a white one with a Buddy Club body kit. And I loved it. I was like, bro. He had it lowered on some wheels with a Buddy Club body kit. And I was freaking out like, bro, I want to buy your car. It was so cool. I like this style of Honda. It was dope. What did it have? A B16A. Yep, that was one of the things. JDM spec motor, JDM Type R cams, Civic Type R pistons and rings, RC Engineering blueprinted injectors, NOS adjustable fuel pressure regulator, JDM EG6 airbox, Type R throttle body, HKS cam gears, and hyper exhaust, NGK spark plugs like everybody else, and wipers. Chipped P61 ECU, Apex VAFC Y21 training with factory LSD, energy suspension linkage bushing kit, Clutchmaster Stage 3 clutch, ground control. All right, very popular. So you see the same theme going on with products at this time, which is kind of cool. Like, I wish I still had my hands on a stockpile of these things just for memories, like just for memories. Some more how-tos. Ooh. Ooh, a 240SX with the SR20 DET. Spark plugs, telling you the difference, blah, blah, blah. Split fire, yep. The V notched into the electroid, right? Because you had a V notch. It wasn't a straight on plug, it was a V shaped. There you go, you can see it right there. The little V shaped notch. cool little how-tos, little knowledge about spark plugs. That's cool, right? Your basic knowledge goes a long way, right? When you learn something cool, you're like, yeah, I got the V-notch spark plugs from NGK or Splitfire. All right, suspension, a little bit of knowledge about that. Some cool stuff. And there's that Honda. This Honda was like the last part. I think Honda was like, I want the last page of all your magazines. That's what they did. I'm on to you, Honda. I know exactly what you did. All right. So there you go. That is Super Street. Go away. What am I doing wrong here? Drop it. Super Street, May 2002 edition. You learned a little bit about the Integras, right, in this episode. Kind of cool to see a little bit of history about that, and the modifications. Pretty dope. All right. I'm going to end this right here. Thank y'all for watching. Enjoy the talk with me. And if you have any questions, throw them out there. We can research it. We can do whatever the fuck we want on this channel. Well, not whatever, right? But just know that I'm going to talk JDM. I like JDM. I think it's cool to find out things that I did not know about, or the reason behind certain things. Everything, just everything. So if you got some cool stuff you want to send me, hit me up in my email. I will send you my address. You can mail me stuff. I will review it. I will mail stuff back to you if you want me to review anything. So yeah, let me know. Let me know. Peace out, guys. Thank you.